Dylan, Scars and Spikes, Sydney, Tyler, Tommy with you on a match week edition, the first match week edition of the show in 2024. Gentlemen, how's it going?
We're so
Happy
close.
MLS is back week
We
for
are
all those who
close.
celebrate it. And if you're watching this, you
Happy.
celebrate it.
Even if
glad
you go
to
to
have
watch
you
Miami
along.
later.
Yeah,
Do you
Miami,
put your Apple device out for like Santa so he can give you a subscription to MLS Game Pass so on Christmas Day you can watch it?
I normally don't. Do you, Tyler or Tommy? Do you?
I have so many Apple devices. Probably one of them's left out somewhere. I've never got a free subscription. Well, I guess T-Mobile gives you free ones, but they stopped this
Yeah,
year.
we do.
I think they're doing it again.
Damn.
Yeah. According to Doug Robertson, the tweet he put out earlier.
I saw a tweet
They're doing
from
it.
someone else a little higher in the tech level that said no, but we'll see.
Well, that's a bummer. But either way, guys, it's match week. And as mentioned, Inter Miami and Real Salt Lake are kicking off like an hour after we start this at 8 p.m. Eastern time. So if you're listening on the podcast, the match will be done and gone with already. But yeah, we're here. Atlanta United taking on the Columbus Crew. Saturday, 2 p.m. Lore.com field. MLS Season Pass. We are excited. We are ready to go. We are looking forward to it. And we will talk about that, obviously, coming up tonight. But we have some big news to share. We have a lot of big news to share, but yeah.
How much
yeah,
time you got?
Jeez, it's been a week,
couple
right?
minutes.
Since like Friday?
Yeah, we
It's-
got a couple things to talk about. So yeah, let's get into that first and then get rolling with the match preview. So Tyler, I'll turn it over to you. What do you
All right.
What do you
So the first thing, get this out of the way really quick, is I think everybody already is aware of this anyway. That's why we're not going to spend much time on it. But with all of the changes with the written content media, with Dirty South Soccer and everything else going on, we have, of course, our sister podcast, Five Stripe Final, giving them a shout out. They just launched their new website Sunday, and it, by all accounts, seems to be doing great. So go support them, just like you support us. We appreciate it. But with that kind of exodus, split, everything else, Dirty South Soccer was the last of the SB Nation MLS blogs that was left. And we felt that it was best to just go ahead and make everything independent. So scarvesandspikes.com is your new go-to place for all of your free Atlanta United, Southeastern soccer, written content, articles, match day stuff. Of course, the podcast is not changing. The Twitter Spaces will be on our Twitter after the matches. So just wanted to, in case you didn't know, you need to go to scarvesandspikes.com because we've already got a ton of good content out there, a lot of good articles, a lot of great writers.
Yeah, indeed.
Tommy,
So
you're laughing. What you got?
It's just so much. There's just so much going on.
yeah,
It's nonstop.
That's not
Nonstop.
no, but we're really excited. We started out, as you all know, it's a Twitter Spaces show that evolved to the podcast, that evolved to a what we have now, the live stream that we do Wednesday nights, and that has evolved to scarvesandspikes.com. We have some sporadic rented content on there already, but now we're going full-fledged, full force at it. So thank you in advance for your support. Thank you in advance for reading and supporting our writers, not just by reading them on the web, but by supporting them financially through Patreon, through our store. We really do appreciate it. More to come. I'm definitely excited for what's ahead, but we're looking forward to a great seasons to come. We don't take ourselves too seriously, as you guys realize it, but we take our responsibility. We take our responsibility to. Sorry,
I said, what are you talking about?
Yeah, no, but
I've never taken myself seriously.
No, but we take our role in the Atlanta United media and content creation space seriously, and we want to do right by you, all the fans. So thank you again. We really appreciate your support in the past, present, and future, and as I said, more to come. So that's one of the news that we have to share, one of the bits of news we have to share. But what's the other bit of news that we have to share?
Numero dos. The second bit of news is we just kind of let Patreons know this earlier in the day. You may have seen, excuse me, some social media stuff already, but we are going to have a handful of live shows that we're going to be doing. The first one being on March 9th at the home opener at the brand new and beautiful, I might add, Signia by Hilton Hotel. It is the giant glass building that you have seen rise up over the past couple seasons.
Can't miss it.
Can't miss it. Can't miss it. It's been being built right there next to the backyard.
Yep.
And we will be hosting some shows at the bar that is on the 4th floor right there. You can kind of see it in that picture. And we have some more pictures that we're going to show, some more videos that we're going to show over the next couple of days and leading up. But you can see kind of that little outcropping at the bottom. That is the bar, and it overlooks the backyard. Yeah, it's called Nest on 4. Overlooks the backyard, overlooks Mercedes-Benz Stadium. You have a beautiful view. The inside of it, they have a Halo board with multiple TVs that is modeled after the one inside the Benz.
Yep.
Great food, great drinks. Going to be setting up hopefully some specials, getting some things going on. So we'll be doing a live show on the home opener day, Saturday, March 9th. We'll kick it off live at 5:30 and about 6:45, maybe a little bit before. We want to get you guys the lineup sheets and get you our thoughts on that real quick. And then we'll cut everybody loose. So you have plenty of time to go inside the Benz and get your seats and get whatever else you want to do. Yep. But come join us. Come join us. We want to have fun with y'all. It's going to be interactive, just like our shows are. So if you feel like hopping on the mic for 60 seconds or something and giving us your hot take of the season, maybe we'll do that. But y'all show up and come have fun with us.
Bruno asking.
And that's why I'm flying in.
Yeah, Tommy will be in town. That's reason enough to come right there.
When I heard about this, I immediately booked a flight, and I am en route. And yeah, I'm ready to get crazy. There's a pool on that level, right?
It's right above there.
Oh, okay.
I can't swim, but I don't want to swim. But I mean,
right?
I could throw you in, Tyler.
I mean,
that's for our $50 Patreon tier.
Bruno
asking in the chat.
Let's say Ariel asked, no tailgating, guys. It's opening day. There's gonna be a lot of tailgating before. Go hang out at the tailgate before, and then come hang out with us after. We'll probably stop down there for a little bit. Yeah, I mean, all the above.
Old El Paso girl says, "Why not both?" Well, actually, she said it in Spanish. I don't know Spanish, but Bruno asking in the chat, "Are you taking us to a hotel room?" So, Scarves and Spikes After Dark is happening. ... No,
I haven't booked my hotel yet. Maybe I'm probably gonna stay there, and yeah, we can see what can happen. Now you can't end up on my OnlyFans account. It's Tommy only. Sorry, Bruno.
Yeah,
we'll talk about it another day, Bruno.
We did our best.
Right. Yeah. No, but really excited. Next step in the kind of evolution of Scarves and Spikes, and this is just part of it. So really excited for it. Please come out. Please invite your friends. Go to the tailgate, but come see us as well on your way to the stadium area. And more to come. And Jordan in the chat saying Mary Berry Day. I don't know what that's about.
You're gonna get Tommy off on the wrong foot already.
No, everyone's trolling me about Miguel Berry.
It's okay. Maybe that'll be the way you get a discount at the live show.
Mary Berry. I will take one Mary Berry. We'll drink that has berries in it. Oh man. I'll just throw this out here now before the season starts that when we play the LA Galaxy, if Barry scores on us, I will shave my beard on the show. That's just going to happen. I'm setting it up now. It's already there. I've warned my wife. It's going to happen. He ain't scoring.
August 24th.
And stop tagging me in every Barry highlight video. Every highlight video. I got tagged like 5 times when Barry scores a goal in the preseason. Jeez. Come on, guys.
Rightfully so. Rightfully so.
With that said, it's something else, Tyler.
No, I just to piggyback on the Signia hotel thing, because we're gonna make sure you guys know all about it over the next couple of weeks. You can easily get there through the backyard. You go straight in the doors, go up the escalators to the 4th floor, and it takes you out right there. There's also an entrance directly to the outside part of the bar, which obviously goes to the inside, that you can access from kind of the red parking deck side of the hotel and the bins. You can go straight through the little gates and be right there with us.
Yeah. But really excited. And thank you to Signia by Hilton. Thank you to Nest on 4 for accommodating us. We really appreciate it. More to come, as always. And again, March 9th. So not this coming Saturday, but March 9th, the Saturday of the home game, 5:30 to 6:45 at Signia by Hilton, Nest on 4. Watch along on Saturday. We are doing a watch along on Saturday on YouTube. Is that correct?
Yep, that is indeed.
Okay.
I will. I'll be there from Columbus.
Yes, you will.
I'll hop in from there. But yeah, this one we're gonna do YouTube, be on there, and then we're gonna follow up with our normal Patreon watch-alongs next month. I forget which game it is. Montreal? No, I don't remember what the away game is. Montreal. The first away game.
One of the Canadian teams, maybe.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, exciting times ahead, and we will look forward to seeing you there. By the way, one quick other thing about the live show at Nest on 4th at Signia. No tickets needed, so just come on in, just show up, and
get you a yummy drink.
See you there. Get a drink.
So I'm a Hilton Rewards member. Do you think they'll let me give me a big sign that says Scars and Spikes, and I could flip it in the air and twirl it?
You can be the guy that's stand on the balcony and trying to get people to come in for us.
Yeah,
I'm here. I would love that.
That's what you get with Hilton Rewards.
Can you do the tricks? All the tricks?
I wasn't aware of that. I'm a Hilton Rewards member. I didn't know about that.
Perk you didn't know about.
Yeah, exactly. Let's talk about the match on Saturday. Yeah, let's do it. No, exciting times. And again, like I said earlier, next step in the evolution, kind of. So please come out. Please tell everybody. And we'll see you there. So match on Saturday, of course, against Columbus at Lower.com Field, 2 p.m. kickoff. But 2:08 kickoff. It might be a little bit delayed. I just thought about it because of the MLS Cup presentation.
7:10 they're claiming, or 2:10. Sorry.
2:10. Yeah, 2:10. So obviously it'll be a big day for Columbus, celebrating their MLS Cup 2023 victory over LAFC. And guys, it just feels like time has just flown by. I know the two of you are at MLS Cup, and it just feels like preseason or the preseason has just flown by. So I guess just starting off, what's kind of your brief thoughts on where are you emotionally? Where are you from the standpoint of what Atlanta United can do? So I guess we can start with that.
Emotionally, I'm tanked.
You're tanked?
Tanked. It's been a long off season without Atlanta United. I'll elaborate further. Tommy, you go ahead.
Okay. So they announced today that the playoff format's staying the same, right? It's going to be the same, best of 3, and then single elimination from there. Saturday is going to be proof of concept on how this playoff series really grows the sport. Now, I know a lot of people don't like it, but when you're in a chippy 3-game series against a team that especially just went on to go win MLS Cup, I expect this game on Saturday to be the best game all weekend. And it might not have the best score line. We don't know what that's going to be. But when I look at these two teams, maybe it's just me, but I see that these guys don't like each other. And I don't want to go back and rewind too much of the playoff series. But real quick, game 1, Mayumba and Aiden Morris. Those guys got into it real bad. And that was only 45 minutes. They took Mayumba off because they were afraid he was going to get another yellow. Game 2, Silva's got the Spider-Man mask on, right? Obviously, it upset Columbus because what did they do after that? Cucho puts on a spider mask of his own after the domination in Columbus. there's these little things that happen in all three of these games that I feel is going to come into this game, because most of these teams still have the same roster, right? Like, we have the biggest change of it, but still the main players are there. The players with the most personality are still there on both teams. And if this is what the playoff series was meant to do, was to create rivalries, I think we're going to see the next step of this rivalry on Saturday.
So you say it's going to be better than Nashville Red Bulls?
It's going to be WrestleMania out there.
Or DC New England? It's going to be better than that?
So the books say that this isn't going to be a good game, right? I mean, like, Columbus is the heavy favorite in this. And when you look at a team that just won a championship and it's their opening day, and we just found out they're actually getting their rings before the game on Saturday, like, that usually just leads to bad things for the away traveling team. It's just, in any sport, that's just how it works. But I want to see fireworks. I want to see these teams go at it.
Yeah.
Like, there is a lot of credence to what you're saying, I think, just based on just the overall schedule. I mean, LAFC Seattle is going to be a pretty good one. The two perennial playoff contenders, LAFC, of course, won in 2022 runner-up last year, so that's going to be a good one. Orlando City, Montreal could be interesting. Orlando City, of course, favorite to win. Montreal, new head coach Laurent Courtois. DC United, New England. DC's been down for a while, but Trailer Scene's coming in from Red Bulls. And New England has a new coach as well, Caleb Porter. So got the new coach Darby there. I feel like Galaxy Inter Miami could be a good one. Dynamo Sporting KC, that could be a pretty good one as well. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot of credence to these two teams. These are two teams that are expected to challenge for the top of the East, if not for the top of the Supporter Shield as a whole. And the Eastern Conference is probably going to be as deep as it's been in a while. Miami, of course, have Messi and his friends. Columbus are the defending champions. Atlanta have returning players. NYCFC has some key parts that they've added. So Chicago, same thing. Philly, always in the mix. Orlando had a phenomenal year last year. And, I can kind of go on, but this is a very deep conference. And, kind of looking ahead, I wouldn't be surprised if maybe a handful of points, we can probably come back to this at the end of the season, a handful of points could separate maybe the top 5 or 6 spots in the East. And there could be a lot more closeness, or maybe not much between the teams, kind of in that lower tier, that playoff picture in the East. So, again, that's assuming that everyone's healthy. There's a lot of things to look at from a personnel standpoint for Atlanta. You have Euros coming up, potential of Giakoumakis going to that. They have qualifying, of course, for Euros. Giakoumakis Saba will be gone. Olympics. You have the possibility of Hamada leaving in the summer. Just, you have a lot of qualifying things. And I think the thing for me is, how does Atlanta United start the season? They have a great chance to really set the tone right off the bat with new players like Schlich, Gregerson, McCarty coming in as probably a bench contributor. All these new faces, plus the faces you brought in mid-season, who have got through their first preseason, now have that much more expectations on them based on what they did last year. So Atlanta United has to come out right off the bat and say, hey, we want a challenge for the top of this conference. They started out pretty good last year. They kind of did, and then you guys came in and they improved. But now and we've mentioned this before, I hate to keep beating a drum that's been beat already. There's no excuse. You have to perform. You have to show that the expectations that are placed on you, you're worthy of the expectations that are placed on you in the preseason. I feel like this is going to be a good team, but they have to show it. And it starts at Columbus.
Well, when I'm talking about a game, I look at MLS, and I look at any other sport. I look at Premier League, and there's rivalries, right? And you got the Heineken rivalry week or whatever, and that most of that's just based off location, right? Some of the best games that we played early on in our franchise were against the Red Bulls, right? And part of that was because we went to war with them in the playoffs. We beat them. Armas blew it. That's what you need in this league. And these 3-game series are going to create rivalries. When two teams go play a best of 7 in the NBA or the NHL, the next year, those teams remember it and they go at it. And anything that happened in that 7-game series, they're going to go take it out on them in the next season. And that's what this league needs. And like, I'm very happy that they're keeping this best of 3. I know the players don't like it and everything like that, but we should be seeing new rivalries starting to form. And let's face it, we need a new rivalry, right? Because I guess you could say Nashville and Orlando was the thing there, but like, everybody usually said our real rivals were the Red Bulls there for a long time.
Yeah.
And then the Red Bulls in Atlanta disappeared. If the Crew are what's going to be our new rival, because they're going to be good for a long time. They are set up for success long term. We're hoping to do the same. And if both of us are there and we keep meeting in the playoffs, I'm fine with this. I'm good with them being the new rivals, but that's what this league needs. They need more rivalries. And not just based off of location, based off of pure hate of each other. Fight. Ada Morris, go to the ground.
23 goals between these two teams all last year. So, yeah, I mean, you have to, if you're Atlanta, you do have the newer players. I think, Tommy, you were saying it. There was obviously more turnover with Atlanta in the offseason, but they've fixed on paper the holes that were such a problem last season. And don't think for a second that Sean De Silva isn't going to make sure everybody on that team knows about the Spider-Man mask and the issues and Cucho trying to do a little clap back. So, you know, there's fight. Muyumba, he's gonna be all over Aiden Morris. I'm saying it now. So there's all the makings of a legitimate organic derby rivalry. It's not there yet, I don't think. But if this one comes out with all the excitement and passion and fire that it probably will, obviously the goals are probably going to happen because there were so many last year, then yeah, I mean, you're looking at the next time that these two teams play in the Benz, that one's going to be amazing. That one's going to be off the chain. So
yeah,
it's one to be excited about it. And I said it when we were on the Wise Men Say podcast, which is a Columbus podcast, just a little bit ago, that like this one, the scheduling gods knew what they were doing when they put these two teams together on opening day.
I think we can all three agree that there are going to be goals in it, right? These two teams were 1 and 2 in goals for in 2023. Columbus 67, Atlanta 66, and Tyler, you're just saying 23 goals. I believe in the 5 matches between these teams, regular season and playoffs. From an attacking standpoint, well, that's obviously two things, right? Number one, obviously, both teams have a lethal attack, and number two, they have the propensity to ship goals. Now, we mentioned Atlanta hopefully has fixed that with Gregerson coming in, the Schlish coming in. But at the same time, when you look at an attacking standpoint, the same guys that are there for both teams, right, are there this year. Giakoumakis, Silva, Saba, Almada for at least half the season for Atlanta. Cucho, who could be gone himself. He's the main guy for Columbus, of course. So he's going to be involved. He's going to pop up with something, and Atlanta United to be mindful of that. Beyond Cucho, if you kind of look at who else could be scoring for this team, I mean, there are definitely options there. Zelarayan was there last year. Who else? Ramirez, Rossi, Christian Ramirez had 8 goals. So a lot of those players are still around. And that's what we kind of talked about with this team. And of course, Zelarayan got sold mid-season. But that's what we talked about with this team, Columbus team. There wasn't a lot of changes in the attack, not a lot of changes top to bottom. Atlanta United, kind of the same thing, especially in the attack. Your big four are still there. So we can agree there are going to be goals in it. That might not speak a lot for the defense, but I guess from that, are we to be alarmed if this ends up like a 3-3 or 4-3. No, you think, Tommy? You don't think that will like reflect badly on the defense at all?
No, because this team has been all right. Columbus has been together, right? Columbus had a few minor changes, nothing major. Atlanta went through a pretty big change. We're thinking Williams starts, right? I think the three of us have been saying that he was going to start over Braun. You have Gregerson coming in, Sleesh. You've got different guys coming in, and the preseason isn't going to be enough for these guys to get it together. Personally, I don't think this is going to go very well for Atlanta, and it's not because of Atlanta. I think it's because of Columbus, and it says a lot about Columbus, of how good of a team they are. And if it goes bad, people are going to overreact very quickly. It's what happens with sports, but it's okay because this team's got a couple weeks even after that to do this. Now, we got to see improvement, obviously, and we have to see Almada. Almada has not been here the entire preseason. He rejoined the team on Monday. Yeah. So any type of changes that they've made, it's going to be a little rough for him, obviously a week in. But just if this, and you're saying 4-4. God forbid it's 4-1, right? Or 3-1. Like,
no, if it's like 4-1,
that's bad.
4 at Columbus, then you don't panic, but then you like say, hey, what happened?
Yeah.
Yeah,
if you get a point, you're excellent. Sorry, Tyler.
Yeah, no, I was going to say, if you come out with a point, and I see Vetch, saying in the chat too, steal a point, and I'll be very happy.
Sure.
I think
especially
they're not going to go up there playing for the draw. They're going to go up there to win, but you're okay if you come out of Columbus just after they won MLS Cup and get a point. Like, that's okay. You then have a week and a half. You have a bye week after your first match to then adjust. This was never going to be an easy match regardless. So there may not be really any adjustments that you have to make other than the next time we play Columbus, we know a little bit more of what to expect. But on the flip side, with Atlanta having more of that roster turnover and this being the first game of the season, there are, and this is not to downplay Wilfried Nancy and his coaching staff, because they've done their homework for sure. But Columbus is going to go into this with not a whole lot of film on a lot of the players that are probably going to be starting. So the defense, whether it's going to be for better or worse, is going to be totally different than it was last season. You have a defensive midfielder now who, by all accounts, again, on paper, is very stand up. And we've seen him a little bit, and he's looked solid. You potentially are going into this match with two brand new center backs. If Derek Williams starts over Luis Abram, and then of course I think you have to expect that Stian Gregerson's going to start. I don't see a world in which he wouldn't. So, and then I know the coin toss is still up in the air, but you might have a new goalkeeper starting between the sticks. So there's a lot different about this team, and there's going to be a lot different that Columbus is going to have to adjust to. So you always have that opportunity to maybe take them by surprise and punch them in the mouth early. And then you see if this team has really changed in the offseason and can put a game away. That's what I'm really curious about.
You say we should be surprised at what Nancy does from a tactical standpoint on Saturday, right? I said we should be surprised by what Nancy does from a tactical standpoint on Saturday, because again, it's essentially the same group. Major players that were transferred out or had their options declined and left the club. Jimmy Randa, who's been in the league for a while, and Gressel, who's at Inter Miami with Tata. So there's like the major names, and then no major names coming in. Derek Jones from Charlotte, Hagen, the goalkeeper from Israel, who will be behind Schulte, Hinostroza from Pachuca, and then Taha, a player from their academy. So no major changes, and again, the same group is here.
And they know their identity, right?
They have an identity. Yeah.
They're not going to change. Wilfried Nancy said it at MLS Cup last year after they won. Me and Tommy were in the room when he said it. We play our game, and we're not going to change that.
Mm-hmm.
Pineda's the same way, and they play a very similar game, and it does work. Yeah, it works when everybody's bought in, and when you have the talent that can sustain it. this is, I think, is the first year that Atlanta's going into this where, again, on paper, you actually have the I think the talent and the cohesiveness and the chemistry that can really make this type of play style work. Wilfried Nancy had it. They already had a good team. He inherited it, but he put his identity on it, and he did it quickly. And more power to him. He's arguably the best coach in MLS right now. But I don't think you can count out Atlanta, but it's just not going to be easy.
So, I mean, let's talk about it. I mean, we already touched on it briefly, but from a goalkeeping standpoint, we'll probably get to the full starting 11 in a little bit, but from a goalkeeping standpoint, I'll let you guys go ahead and I'll give you my thoughts. Do you start Cohen or do you start Guzan on Saturday?
Goose. I don't know if that's the right answer or not, but when you're the veteran, unless you've really screwed up in the preseason, you get the nod game one. And I think that he's going to get the game. He's going to start 100%. I mean, I saw some people hating on Cohen on Twitter. Like we watched some preseason matches, and he came in quite a few times where it was, a mixed bag of players coming in. I think he eventually will become the starter at some point, and who knows? Maybe they get rocked in Columbus, and then he starts the home opener. Like you don't know what's going to happen here, but I think that for Brad Guzan being the vet, not doing anything terrible in the preseason, he absolutely deserves a start.
Okay. Yep, I think everything about what you're saying, Tommy, makes sense, and I agree with it. I think it's his job to lose. But I think it's not hard to look at a lot of your matches last year and just think what could have been with just the percentage of stop shots. And I think Brad is a great goalkeeper. I think it's a coin toss. I believe Cohen gets the start, but I only say that because I think going back to last season, there were so many minutes and so many opportunities where things could have changed drastically had there just been a split second quicker. Now, you can't put it all on him either, because going back to that defensive conversation, he was getting left out to dry. He was. But that's also where you got to trust in your goalkeeper just to make the hard stops, to, at least come through in the clutch occasionally. You're never going to stop every shot. That's part of the game. But you just go back and you look at it and you think, man, what could have been if the MCL didn't happen against New York City? And obviously we know what happened the season before, and him coming back so rapidly. So I do, like, the sensible side of me says, yeah, I mean, it's his job to lose, and there's really nothing to say that he's lost it. But I would give big props to Pineda if he said, no, it's Cohen. It's got to go to Cohen, because I've seen what he can do both overseas and here. I know what Brad can do. And maybe that extra little bit of youthfulness and shot stopping ability is what makes the difference in this one.
I saw a point brought up about Cohen that I didn't really think about until I saw it, but he hasn't played a competitive match in about 8 or 9 months since the 2022-23 Israeli Premier League season ended.
Yeah.
So he's kind of been, he hasn't played competitively since then. Of course, he started in preseason. He saw some time in preseason, but from a competitive sample, he hasn't played. So I think there's definitely credence to that. That could really inform Pineda's decision making as far as who starts in goal on Saturday. I think with that being said, and based on who started against Sporting Kansas City in the final preseason match, I think that's about as close to starting 11, preferred starting 11 as you could imagine. Of course, Almada wasn't there because he was with Argentina. But I think given that, I think Brad Guzan does start against Columbus. Now, it could have been, or it could be that Pineda was trying to throw Nancy off the scent and started Guzan to lead him in the wrong direction, kind of as a smokescreen. But yeah, I think it's Gazan. And yeah, it wouldn't surprise me if it's Cohen, but I think it's gonna be Brad Gazan. And again, we'll get to like the other starting 11 spots in a little bit, but Ariel in the chat had a question that we want to definitely hit on. This question may have been easier to answer in past seasons, but who is our weakest link now? What do you guys think?
Zilf has my answer. Abram or Williams.
You think between the two of them?
Whoever the second center back is, I think so. Everywhere else, you're pretty consistent in what you're bringing in. I mean, Wiley and Lennon, you know what they have. Your whole front, your front line's great. Your midfields, we don't know what Slish can be, but if he is what he's supposed to be, then great. It's just, the second of the center back pairing, what are they going to do? I mean, we've seen Abram, and he's been okay. I think he had a good run of games there for a while. We'll see what Williams is, and a good defensive pairing is, creating chemistry, and that might take a little bit here. Pineda has given opportunities for players to create chemistry. Like Abram, we thought was going to be starting a lot earlier than he did last year, but they didn't. They held him from starting for a while because they wanted to see, Parada and Miles to see what they would be able to do there together, and then he finally made the change. Someone made a comment up there real quick. Sorry, just about maybe one starts one game and one starts the other. If Cohen does well, if he starts Saturday, Cohen does well, he's not losing the spot. For keepers, you got to lose your spot, and this isn't hockey where they switch out and give a guy a rest. Usually, when you're the starter, you're the starter until you screw something up.
Yeah.
There are so many ways to justify an answer here. I think for me, I would agree with that left-sided center back because, Abram he had some stand-up games, but there were also some lapses last year where it was like, what could have been. But then I also have to go back, like my justification for a lot of the defensive lapses last year was the defensive midfielder. And you do have an unknown, essentially, in Slish. Now, Slish, I say unknown only because we haven't seen him in a true MLS game, but we also haven't seen Stian Gregerson and a handful of other players. But I think with all the hullabaloo and everything else that came around Stian and Bartosz Slish, you expect big things out of them. But then you go and you look at Derek Williams or Luis Abram, you know what you're getting out of Luis because he was here and he played significant minutes last year. And then you have Derek Williams, who I thought had a great preseason, actually. I thought he's been very solid. And I think he gets the start, but that's still the kind of the unknown, for the bigger unknown for me. That's kind of the weaker link. And also, to Tommy's point, you never know which of those four center backs, Noah Cobb included here, is going to develop that chemistry the way that it needs to be. Because you could have two moderate center backs and they make each other way better. And you could have two pretty strong single center backs and they just don't work well together. So I'm curious to kind of watch those matchups, especially with a high-powered offense like Columbus. But yeah, to me, I think right now it's that left center back position is the weakest link.
I think your weakest link is not in your starting 11. I think it's on your bench. And I feel like we've mentioned it already. You don't have depth on the left side if Caleb Wiley goes down. You do have Hernandez, you do have McFadden who will be in. But outside of that, you're kind of on shaky ground because, God forbid if Wiley gets injured and, Hernandez gets injured. I mean, you're kind of in deep trouble there, or if McFadden gets injured, you're kind of in deep trouble there. So I think that is kind of the weakest link right now. That's not to say that obviously Hernandez and McFadden aren't bad players. or aren't good players, I should say. They are good players, but I would like to see before too long Atlanta United address that, because that's a big piece of the puzzle that they need to fill, especially if Caleb's going to be in the Olympics. So they need to address that, especially if he's going to be gone for a sustained amount of time. Get somebody in here, swing a trade for a depth piece, call somebody up maybe from the twos, perhaps for some spot time as a left back or right back, and make sure you have some security or security policy back there, because that's an important spot for Atlanta, and want them to be in trouble if they're caught without decent depth. So.
But that's MLS though, Sydney. Like that's the thing though. Like MLS, they don't give you this type of room for depth. Like you can't look at any position and be like, oh, they have depth everywhere. And unfortunately, Caleb Wiley will be gone. Right. For the Olympics. So you're gonna have to play somewhere with something, and maybe you can use emergency call-ups for, like you said, someone from the twos from there. But I mean, you look across the team, and Garth Lagerwey was on 92.9 the game yesterday, and listening to him pretty much seemed like our rosters, like our cap is pretty filled at the moment. I don't even know if we can swing a trade to bring somebody in at this point, because it sounds like, he said it as we have 2 DPs and 3 DP lights, which was the first time I've ever heard of that. But what they're really using, they're using the cap and all the space that, and all the different, GAM, and to be able to maximize this roster to what you have. And unfortunately with that, you're going to have limitations here. And that's going to be the problem. So, while we thought that at some point they'd be able to buy down Silva, and I guess he's, or not Silva, Saba, he's a DP light. So we're not going to be able to buy anyone down to add a third legitly a DP. The only way we're going to be able to add a DP on this team is if Almada leaves. Right. Sell one. So I don't know. I think that this is the lineup that we have here. And, maybe, I've chatted with some people, some different chats and Twitter, like, maybe you move on from an Abram in the summer. Maybe you try to move him along because Cobb's had a good preseason, and maybe you think that he's going to be able to play some minutes there, and move Abram out because his cap's a little high. So maybe you can move on from him. I mean, you're going to have Derek not playing. I don't know. It doesn't seem like we're using a buyout this off season, unless it was just very quiet on, maybe there were rumors that maybe you were going to use it on Eric Lopez technically, because there were still some weird things with him. I don't know, but it seems like we're stuck with the lineup that we have right now, and there's not going to be much movement from there.
I want to hit on this real quick, and I definitely see what you're saying. Your hands are kind of tied with MLS. And by the way, just looking at a broad salary number, I mean, if they do want to make a move with him, he's making just a shade under $700,000, or made a shade under $700,000 in 2023. So definitely TAM level. But yeah, we'll see. This is a good question that Vetch had in the chat. If Cohen starts, who gets the armband? Is Brooks luck for the Kansas armband? I think it's either him or Giakoumakis. I would lean toward Brooks because he's been with the team longer. But
yeah, I think Brooks. I think Brooks would get it. But it would be twofold. It would be Brooks and Giakoumakis. I had this conversation yesterday at the training ground with Jason Longshore, in terms of like the vibes that this team has had in the preseason so far, just seeing them, in the videos, but also actually seeing them like at the training ground, and what their jokes, and they're having fun, and they're smiling, laughing. Like, they seem like they're on the same page, right? Brooks and Giakoumakis are together like 2 peas in a pod. They're working on, crosses, headers, everything. But Giakoumakis is a natural leader. Brooks is, I think, a natural leader, and he takes his job very seriously. So yeah, if that situation plays out with Cohen getting the start, it's going to be one of them two for sure. And the great thing is you want a midfield-ish captain, but it's also nice to have another guy up front that can do the job. And it's nice to have another guy in the very, very back, like we've had with Brad for years, that Cohen, I think, could also do, very similarly. Having them at different aspects and different portions and different positions in the field is nothing but a good thing, because they're going to keep everybody's head screwed on right.
Outside of Guzan, Brooks is the longest tenured player, right? Isn't he? I may be misremembering. Out of the starting 11, preferred 11.
Yes.
Unless I'm missing one. Yeah. So, I mean, there you go.
Technically.
Yeah. But, from an experience standpoint, definitely Lennon. So,
yep.
But no, I mean, that's a big F, obviously, but, if it plays out, I wouldn't be surprised. What else do we want to hit on? There's a lot of discussion about.
A lot of people got comments, about the captain's armband.
Yeah, I can definitely see Lennon. Giakoumakis, of course. Giakoumakis just has that way about him, that toughness that you wanted to captain. But I feel like he could also be in a place where you can really calm the team down and sell the team and keep them from getting too emotional. So he'd be my vote as well.
Yeah.
I mean, Giakoumakis gets emotional.
Yeah,
he does.
We just talked about that. Tyler and I were just talking about that. Like, remember the game, like a couple games where like he couldn't get anything going on, gets overly emotional, starts fouling guys left and right, throwing people down to the ground. I don't know. I think that Lennon is the cool, calm, collected guy out there.
But you won't.
What about Dax? I know Dax isn't going to start, but man, curious where he fits into this entire puzzle.
Dax,
I think he's a captain without an
father figure. That's a father figure in a good way, and I mean that in like the most loving way. Like, but it's a guy that you want, like, who can say, "I've literally been in every one of these scenarios, every one of them. I've been in it because I have so much experience." And can change things on the fly. That is your Michael Parkhurst. That's your Jeff Larentowicz. That's what you want. Even if he's not playing all the time, and he'll still get plenty of time, but that's an important thing to have regardless of whether he's actually on the pitch or not.
Real quick on Giakoumakis, team made a good point about Yako calling a team meeting without the coaches, but he also called McCarty Dad McCarty in the chat. So I want to highlight that. And then Bruno calling McCarty the Scarface of the team. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, that's great. That's great.
It's still weird loading FIFA up and just seeing the redhead out there. It's weird. It's been a while. We miss
Let's
you,
talk
Jeff.
about the mistakes that you have made looking at people's faces on FIFA.
No. Okay. All right. We did it. No, but we can tell the one. I'm not going to tell the other one. We told the story on the Ask Me Anything we did on Patreon, but my first experience in the press box was in Columbus. And, we all know how bad that game went, 6-1. Well, I really hadn't paid too much attention to this player. It was Barry, basically. But like I saw his face in FIFA, and he's got black hair in the game and everything. And he came out after the game to talk to us, and he was very tan, and he had frosted tips. I didn't know who the hell he was. It just didn't register with me on who he was. And then Doug started talking to him, and then I kind of started figuring it out. What it was, and I'd be asked like some question, because what are you gonna ask guys that lose 6-1? Even like we were talking to Pineda, right? But man, that was a moment. Update. I mean, if you're gonna frost your tips, man, call FIFA and update them. Jeez,
right. Write them a letter, say, "Hey, I changed my likeness." Wasn't there like players in FIFA not having their likeness scanned after like 3 years in the league, by the way?
Almada's tripping me out.
FC. Exactly. Like, he's a top 5 player in MLS, top 3 probably. Still have this likeness scan in there. Come on, guys. Let's go.
They didn't put
the new FIFA.
Silva scanned in.
Yeah.
Silva's yeah. But yeah, I mean, why not Almada? That's doesn't sit well with me.
Agreed.
That's a mini rant.
Agreed.
Why can't you get the real train horn into the game? It's in Madden.
Gosh, that's another.
It's in Madden.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, exactly. So Bruno asking in the chat, kind of switching gears real quick. When are we going to see the FIFA game of Tommy versus Palinetto?
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
All we need to say about this is Bruno Damas, Nostradamus over here. Just only because nothing we can't.
16 goal handicap. 16 goal handicap.
Yeah, 32, please.
He plays with one arm behind his back.
Right. Still win.
His nose.
Oh, he'll still beat me.
Oh yeah.
We want to get to like starting 11.
Hey, I'm down for whatever. I am down for whatever.
Let's talk about starting 11. Start to back, back to front, I should say. So in that,
supposed I think to go front to back.
Well,
never mind. Sorry. Different things.
With the keeper, starting with the keeper. Gosh.
I'm so glad Atlanta United and Sweetwater have a partnership now.
Yes.
Get Tommy. Carry on.
Brad Guzan starting in net. That's who I feel. Wiley lit on the outside. Gregerson and Williams. I think it will be Williams. In that center back pairing. William Bushalish in the midfield, and then the attack Almada. I almost said, Silva, Saba, and then Giakoumakis up top. So,
did you say your wingbacks?
Yeah, I said. Yeah, I said Wiley Leonard.
Okay, I'm tripping.
Yeah, you missed it.
Right. Book it. Agreed.
Same thing.
Agreed. Okay. I mean, it's not much of an option. I mean, the only two real spots you have there is the Williams spot or Abram, and then whether Almada is okay to go. And I have to imagine that he is. Yeah, he just played a bunch of games, but he returned late last week, was able to rest, and then he was able to this week kind of get back into things. It's not like the guy hasn't been practicing, right? He probably had like a mini preseason, probably with the trainers of Atlanta United before he went over to the Olympics, right? So he'll probably had some type of training there. He played time. He played well. So I think that's fine. The guy's got to be okay to play this. And you got 2 weeks to recover from this game. Put him in.
Yeah, he'll play.
He's fine.
They posted a video of him on social for crying out loud, so he's playing.
Thiago Almada is starting this game.
Yeah.
It's
if
not
I go to Columbus and not see Almada, I'm going to be so mad.
Well, it would be just like game 1 of the playoffs last year.
And Star Wars night.
Yeah.
Right.
You get shafted every time you go to Columbus.
Has he
really is, man.
Has he? I was going to say, has he ever played at Lord.com field? But he played in game 3.
Game 3. Yeah.
So,
but yeah,
we assume he'll be there.
I think for me, it's the same, except I've had freaking wise men say, what are y'all doing here? These are our good friends, Columbus podcast, wise men say, Gerald and Ty. So go check out their content. Good stuff.
They're predicting 7-1 in the chat,
which we highly disagree with.
Atlanta, 7-1 Atlanta, I'm sure, but
1. Oh, okay.
Sending some signals. Anyway, I've got to say Josh Cohen as the only different one. I have to say Cohen because I've said it over and over again that I think he's starting. But yeah, I think everybody else is pretty spot on. Wiley starting, Lennon starting. The only main thing is knock on wood. I'm just gonna say it now. Knock on wood. If something happens to Giakoumakis, you aren't
what?
Great.
Get out of here! Remove him. What would you even put that into the world? We've had season openers where we've lost our best player, and now you're going here and you're. Why would you even throw that in the universe? Once we played the game and Almada gets hurt. Once Almada just goes down. Once Brad just breaks his leg. What are you doing? Why would you just say like? Once if the sun doesn't come up that game before that game? Once if the eclipse comes early before that? What?
It would be no different than anything else that's happened in Columbus.
But why would you say that? But why? Like, why even throw it into the world? No.
I've put it.
It's game 17 of the season, Tyler. Well, God forbid if Caleb Wiley falls over and doesn't stand up ever again, then the season's over. What?
If we get it out of our system now, all right?
How about it just not happen? Period.
Let's
you guys
go.
Good?
I'm just gonna say the most random, most terrorizing thing to any Atlanta United fan. Just say if it possibly happens.
Yeah.
The roof.
It gets the people.
It's so cold in my basement, and I'm like heated now. I'm like sweating.
Well, you definitely heat it.
You need some peanut butter?
God damn.
Anyway. Predictions?
What else is going to happen in this game that's going to happen?
A ball will be kicked.
Oh God, if we're part of we're going to be the first ones. If we get rocked against Columbus, we're going to be the first Charlie Brown meme for this team. You know, we're like they missed the ball, but like Brad,
right.
You know, like Brad would be Charlie Brown because obviously the hair, right? Like that's going to be who Brad's going to be. Like just
Charlie
we got
Brown
crew people in here.
Charlie Brown has hair, just like that little speck of hair. But I see where you're going.
We have good Photoshop people here on the internet. We have really good people here. We can, but the Columbus people are gonna do it. They're gonna put Brad like he's got
right
here. Throw it out in the world. He's gonna go kick the ball and he's gonna miss it, and then Cucho's gonna kick it in, and then that's the meme forever. That's gonna be it forever. And Brad's gonna retire after that.
Now, knock on wood.
The meme broke him. Don't you yell at me? I'm putting the microphone away because I'm going to yell. You're yelling at me? I made a stupid thing about Brad Guzan missing a kick. He's talking about Giakoumakis' career ending and him never playing soccer ever again. No, don't yell at me. You didn't yell at him. You said nothing to him.
You didn't finish the chant. You didn't finish the whole thing. You got to knock on wood.
You guys done?
No, we're not done.
Sorry, everybody. Scars and Spikes isn't making it to season 3.
Only game 1. 1 of 34.
We're not even making it to game 1 at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Who's if Tommy doesn't make it all the way down to Columbus?
Yeah. That was fun. So we want to do predictions for this one. We have a new format for predictions, by the way.
Yes, so we're going to track these, and it's going to be 1 point for guessing the result. So win, loss, draw. And if you get the correct score, then you get a bonus point for it. And we only got, I think, it was like 6 total right scores. So this will give us some more points involved here.
It was awfully dry.
It was very difficult the way we set it up last year. We've learned from our lessons.
So 2 points up for grabs for each match. Correct?
Correct.
Cool.
And we'll keep a scoreboard going here. So for me, I think the biggest factor of this game is going to be, one, the momentum of the fans is obviously going to get this team going, and I've already said that. But I think I will say to continue is Aidan Morris and Mayumba. I think that is a key matchup here because I've been saying I think Mayumba now is going to be able to focus more on the offensive side of the ball. Last year, they kind of asked him to do a little bit of everything. And yeah, he's still going to come back and help defensively. But you're hoping Slish is able to handle more of the defensive work, where Mayumba's going to be able to bring the ball up and maybe score a goal here or there. But really, it's just passing the ball, getting it to the wingers, getting it to Almada to go forward. So that matchup right there is obviously important. And then we saw what happened in game 1. You can't let these two get into it, and you can't let Mayumba get an early yellow. That's something that's going to be very important here. You need to stay disciplined against this team because they're frustrating. And if it's frustrating me just watching Aiden hit the ground left and right, it's obviously frustrating for the players out on the field. And it showed, and the fans were chanting, send him off. No, let's send Aiden Morris off. We got replacement refs, baby. They're going to make crazy things. Aiden Morris gets called off. Mayumba gets the game winner. Boom. But Atlanta loses 3-1.
Oh, no. I bet this is going
bad juju. Are you kidding me?
I actually said 4-2, but
you did.
Guys, Columbus is at the top of its game, and I love Atlanta. I just think that where we're at right now in the season, if this was a little bit later, my captain.
Yes.
I think that what's up, Michael Parker?
Fancy.
Whoa,
good.
How'd you get balloons?
Let me do that again. Thanks, Michael.
Hey. Michael Parker is joining the show, everyone. Appreciate you, Mike.
Look, I'm trying to win the prediction thing 2 years in a row, okay? I'm just saying the honesty here. They're going to beat New England. I'm going to say that. But I think they lose. Actually, I said 4-2 earlier. I'll stick with my 4-2.
You're going to say that with Michael Parkhurst on here?
3-1, 4-2.
Parkhurst has connections to Columbus. We're both Ohio people. He can't be mad at me.
All right, shout out to Rhode Island FC, by the way.
Yeah.
They're kicking off their season in a few weeks. So Mike's very involved with that, and look forward to see what they do.
It's a sweet kid.
Hopefully, it is. Hopefully we have him back on this year. We'll work on it. Who's next?
2-2. I got to be consistent. This is tough. This is a really, really tough game. Like, no matter how you put it, we can joke around all day, but you're going up against the champs. You're a different team, though, than you were last year. They have worked really, really hard to fix every issue that I think every pundit, journalist, outlet, podcast, and fan has beat to death over the past couple of years. The defense, the winning away, the giving up leaky goals at really bad times, things like that. Like, they've put in plan to try to fix it and try to make a difference. So a lot of these things in the preseason were very deliberate, and you're not going to have an easy go of it in Columbus, no matter which way you look at it, no matter which way you try to twist it. But I do think this team has enough talent to pull a draw out and catch them off guard a little bit. It's always going to be hard to get 3 points, but I think you can come away with a point.
Yeah, I'm going to say 3-2 Columbus. I mean, for a very simple reason. You're breaking in a new defensive pairing. You're breaking in a new midfielder. That's not to say they won't be good by the end of the year.
You two negative.
No, they'll definitely come good. The both of them, Williams / Abram, whoever is in that pairing with Gregerson and Slish, they'll eventually come good. But you're gonna need to gel a little bit, and there will be some growing pains. I think at least initially, and of course, Columbus is very lethal in the attack, as we mentioned already. A lot of those players are back this year again. So I think Atlanta will have its hands full again as it kind of adjusts to these new players, these new names across the spine of the team. And I think for that reason, I think they'll kind of struggle out the gate. I think they need to come out strong, but I think they'll have a few growing pains coming out of the gate. And I want them to win, but I don't know if they do, especially with Columbus getting the rings and the pomp and circumstance around that. I think the home crowd will be very vibrant, as it is usually
there.
Question, so 3-2. Yes.
Do y'all both cheer for the bad guys when you watch like an Avengers movie? Like, are you Thanos stands?
No.
I root for some villain, sure, but
why this one?
Look, buddy. Would you bet your beard right now? Would you bet your beard right now? I'll message the wife for you that you think, in all honesty,
she would literally hang you 2 fingers and be like, "Nope."
It's better than 1 finger, I guess, but no. I'm doing this as I feel. I'm not going to homer it up this year. I'm going to say my honest thoughts. It's what I'm going to put. I'm going to put that results. I'm gonna bet $10 on on the game. I'm gonna do it as if I was betting, and that's what I feel that it's gonna be in this game. And both those Columbus wins against Atlanta in the playoffs, I won like $400.
Just $10 for this one?
I mean, I feel like I'd want to throw more, but no. I mean, guys, come.
How dare you?
It's just there's too much on. I think there's just too much here. There's just too much here. New team, all this. Look, like Tyler, you said it earlier. We got destroyed by Houston the year we won MLS Cup.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Like that's there. It's just
I try to hold on to that no matter what happens.
Literally every team that every person is picking Columbus or Miami to win to win the MLS Cup. It's no coincidence. Like this team is going to be good. Don't get me wrong. I think this team is going to be fantastic. But defensively, you're not going to turn it around by playing these preseason games and being better. Like you don't just change your team and all of a sudden, become fully fixed here. It's going to be a little bit, but that little bit's going to be New England. I'm going to be there. We're going to party. We're going to go to the Gulch. We're going to party. Then we're going to go to the hotel. We're going to show it up there. We're going to give predictions. We're all going to say they win. You're going to be happy. And then we're going to go win. And then after party at my hotel room.
Sweet. I like it.
I just basically gave you your next 2.5 weeks. Like, you're welcome.
Yeah.
Vetch say Columbus fat and happy after winning the cup. Atlanta hungry. 2-1 good guys. A1 XO say it again.
Vetch knows ball.
Yeah. A1 XO.
He's an interesting watch on Twitter. He's everywhere.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Hot take.
2-0 crew. Say 2-0 crew.
Don't do that. So At least need to see goals for Atlanta.
Yeah, there'll be goals in it. We all agree there'll be goals in it. But
yeah, but I need Atlanta goals. I don't need 2-0 Columbus.
Exactly. But yeah, we've given you our predictions, obviously. Let us know yours on social, Scars and Spikes. Scars and letter and Spikes, of course. X, Instagram Scars and Spikes, and all that good stuff. And one more real quick. Bruno saying 3-0 Atlanta.
That's it. Beers on me, Bruno.
Oh.
New England. I'll buy you a beer.
Sweetwater, of course.
Sweetwater.
A sponsor of Atlanta United.
Sponsor of Sweetwater.
Do they have that in Ohio, by the way?
I think so.
Yeah,
my wife drinks that. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Sweetwater's big.
Okay.
Bigger than people realize.
It's better than sour water.
Yeah.
That's true.
I'm not a big sour water fan myself. Any final thoughts before we get out of here?
I got to give a quick shout out to Soccer Down Here. I've been on a couple of their live shows during the preseason, so I appreciate Jason, John, Jarrett. Wednesday mornings, I will be on their show.
Yeah,
for 20 minutes or so. Yeah, Great Lakes Brewing Team for sure. I was introduced to that, and that was off the chain. But no, I'll be on with John and the crew, whoever may be on there, whether it's Jarrett, Madison, Jason, just to chat for 20 minutes on Wednesday mornings. So that'll be kind of a regular thing. So
yeah, definitely friends of ours. So tune into that. Yeah. John's a great guy. His whole crew is great. So definitely tune in for that. Tommy, any final thoughts?
Messi's about to kick off. I think they're going to start off hot this season. I think they're going to blow Salt Lake out here today. A healthy Messi is an insane Messi. Let's enjoy this while he can, because we're calling him Miami FC, but by the time we get to October, we'll be calling him Viagra FC.
Wow.
On that note,
where I thought that was going.
Yeah, excited for the season, guys. Excited to have you along. Don't forget, I will say October 9th, but March 9th, City Hotel, Nest on 4. Check our socials for more information. A lot of other things in the pipeline for us. Please check us out. on social again. Go to scarsandspikes.com. All kinds of content going up there over the next few days, weeks, months. Definitely support us. Patreon.com/scarsandspikes. Shout out to them. Or shout out to our patrons. Thank you so much for your support. And yeah, I think that's all.
Go watch opening day. It's here.
It's here. MLS is back.
Kickoff just happened.
If you go to the game, come find me. Shoot me a message on Twitter or come find me in the Oasis supporter section.
I'll be there. Well, cool. Thanks, everyone. Shall we play the music?
Let's do it.
We will see.
I can't believe you would say this about Giakoumakis. No, this is the credits rant right here. Why would you say that? I'm still upset with you. Did you? Oh my gosh. Were you the one that right before the Nashville game said, "Oh man, it would really suck if Joseph got hurt in this game"? Was that you?
Probably, considering he was playing with
Pull the tape.
Hair.
We'll go back to the episode before that. The non-existent
we didn't exist yet.
In another universe.
I'll talk to your family. See what you said.
In the multiverse.
Yes, Tommy, just knock on some wood, buddy.
No, it doesn't work that way.
It does work that way.
You don't even know what kind. Like, you don't even know if it's like a certain kind of wood. Like, whatever. Like, you don't know.
Oak,
anything.
hickory, cherry, or apple. Pick one.
Peach.
Pine. Peach. There you go. That would work.
Is there peach wood?
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah,
Smoke
there is.
Is it really? Oh, okay. I thought I made that up. Sweet.
Thanks, everyone.
See you guys.
See you at the bones.
See you Wednesday.